Hello, welcome back. Good evening. I got a break. It's 5:30 p.m. and I did eat some hot food and record video. Did record video about this Leopard 1 tank gun from the front page of the Danish news. But let's try to finish this M1 Abrams. I'm going to Sneezing. Yes, but I've just charged the camcorder like 1 hour more. So, but I don't think we have power enough to finish, but let's just try. So I go one page. I got to page 13, but I got one page back because I did start to get sleepy. But now I have eaten some hot foods. I just need to read this, finish and upload, then I'm done for today. Yes.
USM 101S during the full legal 1998 training exercises in South Korea, with their factory single green paint scheme M101 in the Australian Army's disruptive pattern camouflage. USAT 4 vehicles and material M101S came from the factory with the NATO 3-color camouflage black /mid green /dark brown chemical agent resistant coating, CARC, paint jobs. Today, M101s are given the NATO3 color paint job during rebuilds. M1s and M101s deployed to Operation Desert Storm were hastily painted Desert Tan. Some, but not all, of these tanks were repainted to their authorized paint scheme. M102s built for Middle Eastern countries were painted in Desert Tan. Replacement parts, rotor wheels, armor skirt panels, drive sprockets, etc., are painted olive green, which can sometimes lead to vehicles with a patchwork of green and desert tan parts. Australian M101s were desert tan when delivered but have undergone a transition to the Australian Army Vehicle Standard Disruptive Pattern Camouflage, a scheme that consists of black olive drab and brown. 7980. The U.S. Army can equip its Abrams tanks with the Saab Barracuda camouflage system, which provides concealment against visual, infrared, thermal infrared, and broadband radar detection. Concealment. The turret is fitted with two 6-barreled M250 smoke grenade launchers. USMC M101S used an 8-barreled version, with one on each side. When deployed, the grenades airburst, creating a thick smoke that blocks both visual and thermal imaging. The engine is also equipped with a smoke generator that is triggered by the driver. When activated, fuel is sprayed into the hot turbine exhaust, creating the thick smoke. Due to a risk of fires, however, this system is sometimes disabled. Armor. Tankers drive an M101 Abrams through the Taunus Mountains north of Frankfurt during exercise Ready Crucible in February 2005. In July 1973, representatives from Chrysler and General Motors traveled to the United Kingdom, and were escorted by personnel from the Ballistic Research Laboratory and XM1 project manager Major General Robert J. Barrett to witness the progress of British-developed Cavorm armour. 81. They observed the manufacturing processes required for the production of Cavorm armour, which was an arrangement of metal plates, ceramic blocks and open space winking sad smiley 28, and saw a proposed design for a new British vehicle utilizing it. Heat and sabot rounds enter the beginning layers of armor but are unable to penetrate the crew compartment. Ceramics have the ability to absorb a great deal of heat, and can blunt physical blows by cracking and deflecting the force. The remaining hot gases and metal shrapnel spread out or settle in empty air pockets. Both contractors re-evaluated their proposed armor configurations based upon the newly obtained data. 82. U.S. Marines with the 2nd Tank Battalion, 2nd Marine Division advance on their eastern objective defended by opposing Spanish forces during exercise Trident Juncture 18 near Dorholen, Norway, November 3, 2018. This led to major changes in the General Motors XM1, the most prominent of which is the turret front changing from vertical to sloped armor. The Chrysler XM1 on the other hand retained its basic shape, although a number of changes were made. The Ballistic Research Laboratory had to develop new armor combinations in order to accommodate the changes made by the contractors. 82. Similar to most other main battle tanks, the M1 Abrams feature composite armor only on the frontal aspect of the hull. However, the Abrams turret features composite armoring across both the front and the sides. In addition, the side skirts of the frontal half of the hull are also made of composite, providing superior ballistic protection against chemical energy munitions such as HE-8 rounds. The composition of the Abrams composite armor consists of sandwiched plates of non-explosive reactive armor, NERA, between conventional steel plates. The NERA plates feature elasticity, allowing them to flex and distort upon perforation, disrupting the penetrating jets of shaped charges and providing more material and space for a kinetic round to pass through, thus providing increased protection compared to conventional steel armor of similar weight. For the M1 Abrams base model, Stephen Zalagar estimates the frontal armor at 350 mm vs armor-piercing finstabilized discarding sabot, APFSTs, and 700 mm vs high-explosive anti-tank, heat, warhead in. The book, M1 Abrams Main Battle Tank 1982-1992, 1993. 83, in M1 Abrams vs T-72 Ural, 2009, he uses Soviet estimates of 470 mm vs APFSTs and 650 mm vs heat for the base model Abrams. He also gives Soviet estimates for the M1A1, 600 mm vs APFSTs, and 700 mm vs heat. 84. Armor protection was improved by implementing a new special armor incorporating depleted uranium and other undisclosed materials and layouts. 28. This was introduced into the M1A1 production starting October 1988. This new armor increased effective armor particularly against kinetic energy rounds. 85. But at the expense of adding considerable weight to the tank, as depleted uranium is 1.7 times denser than lead. 86. The first M1A1 tanks to receive this upgrade were tanks stationed in Germany. US-based tank battalions participating in Operation Desert Storm received an emergency program to upgrade their tanks with depleted uranium armor immediately before the onset of the campaign. M1A2 tanks uniformly incorporated depleted uranium armor, and all M1A1 tanks in active service have been upgraded to this standard as well. 87. This variant was designated as the M1A1 half or heavy armor. 88. The M1A1 AIM, M1A2 SEP and all subsequent Abrams models feature depleted uranium in both the hull and turret armor. 89. Each Abrams variant after the M1A1 have been equipped with depleted uranium armor of different generations. The M1A1 HA uses first generation armor, while the M1A2 and M1A1 HC use second generation depleted uranium. The M1A2 SEP variants have been equipped with third-generation depleted uranium armor combined with a graphite coating. The M1A2C also features increased physical line of sight turret armor. 90. For the M1A1HA, Zalagar gives a frontal armor estimate of 600 mm VS and 1,300 mm VSHE8 in M1 Abrams main battle tank 1982. Nearly double the original protection of the Abrams. 88. In M1 Abrams VST-72 Ural, he uses different estimates of 600 mm VS and 700 mm VS heat fourth front hull and 800 mm VS and 1,300 mm VS heat for the front of the turret. 84. The protection OFM1A2 SEP is a frontal turret. Armor estimate of 940-960 mm VS and 1,321,620 VS heat glasses estimate of 560-590 mm VS and 510-1,050 VS heat, and lower front hull estimate of 580-650 mm VS and 800-970 VS heat. The M1A2 SEP-3 increased the loss thickness of the turret and hull front armor. Total armor protection from this increase is not known. 91. In 1998, a program was begun to incorporate improved turret side armor into the M1A2. This was intended to offer better protection against rocket-propelled grenades more modern than the baseline RPG-7. Thiseki were...
Yes, I have for Danish videos need to put the public, so that will take many hours to finish. I have to stop and do it because I like to read this myself. So I have to put my video public. Good. I had to add my Danish tank videos to playlists. Good. So all the videos public. That was all. Let's continue reading. Let's go to bed. No, I like to read it myself, so but English is not my mother language. English is not my language, so I have to read it like 2 or 3 times, but I don't have time to do that now because I have many hundreds others PDF. I have many hundred others I like to read.
In 1998, a program was begun to incorporate improved turret side armor into the M102. This was intended to offer better protection against rocket-propelled grenades more modern than the baseline RPG-7. These ECI were installed on about 325 older M102 tanks in 2001 to 2009, and it was also included in upgrader tanks. 92. The Abrams may also be fitted with explosive reactive armor over the track skirts if needed, such as the Tank Urban Survival Kit, 93, and slat armor over the rear of the tank and rear fuel cells to protect against atoms. Protection against spalling is provided by a Kevlar liner. Damage control. The tank has a Halen firefighting system to automatically extinguish fires in the crew compartment. The engine compartment has a firefighting system that is engaged by pulling a T-handle located on the left side of the hull. The Halen gas can be dangerous to the crew. 94. However, the toxicity of Halen 1301 gas at 7% concentration is much lower than the combustion products produced by fire in the crew compartment, and CO2 dump would be lethal to the crew. 95. The crew compartment also contains small handheld fire extinguishers. Fuel and ammunition are stored in armored compartments with blowout panels intended to protect the crew from the risk of the tank's own ammunition cooking off, exploding, if the tank is damaged. The main gun's ammunition is stored in the rear section of the turret, with blast doors that open under power by sliding sideways only to remove a round for firing, then automatically close. Doctrine mandates that the ammunition door must be closed before arming the main gun. 95. Tank Urban Survival Kit. AM-102 with Tusker M101 Abrams with an Abrams Integrated Management System, AIM, and the Tank Urban Survivability Kit, TUSK. Conducting a patrol in Baghdad, 2007. The Tank Urban Survival Kit, TUSK, is a series of improvements to the M1 Abrams intended to improve fighting ability in urban environments. 96. 93. Historically, urban and other close battlefields have been poor places for tanks to fight. A tank's front armor is much stronger than that on the sides, top, or rear. In an urban environment, attacks can come from any direction, and attackers can get close enough to reliably hit weak points in the tank's armor or gain sufficient elevation to hit the top armor. Armor upgrades include reactive armor on the sides of the tank and slat armor, similar to that on the Striker, on the rear to protect against rocket-propelled grenades and other shaped charge warheads. A transparent armor gun shield and a thermal sight system are added to the loader's top-mounted M240B 7.62 machine gun, and a Kongsberg Gruppen remote weapon turret carrying a 12.7mm .50 in caliber machine gun, again similar to that used on the Striker, is in place of the tank commander's original 12.7mm .50 in caliber machine gun mount, wherein the commander had to expose himself to fire the weapon manually. An exterior telephone allows supporting infantry to communicate with tank commander. The TUSK system is a field installable kit that allows tanks to be upgraded without needing to be recalled to a maintenance depot. While the reactive armor may not be needed in most situations, like those present in maneuver warfare, items like the rear slat armor, loader's gun shield, infantry phone, which saw use on Marine Corps M101s as early as 2003, and Kongsberg remote weapons station for the 12.7mm .50 in caliber machine gun will eventually be added to the entire M1A2 fleet. In August 2006, General Dynamics Land Systems received a U.S. Army order for 505 tank urban